Do you have a favorite player who you wish was in MLB The Show but currently isn't? Or have you ever wondered how good a player might be in MLB The Show during a season where they won an award? They might not yet be in the show, but they are in the zone. In this series, we'll give you an inside look at each player's attributes that you'd realistically be able to expect if they were added to MLB The Show, including different variations based on the card series. Thanks for watching. My name is Kasabi from ShowZone, and also a special shout out to Ainge Nation and MLB The Show Card Art for their contributions to this video. Last year we started off this series by predicting a left-hander that we wanted to see in MLB The Show. They went ahead and added him, and boy oh boy did he dominate the entire game cycle. The Collection Randy Johnson Award was achievable day one, and now we have the World Series Randy Johnson that will forever be giving people fits in MLB The Show 22. It's safe to say that Randy Johnson was the card in MLB The Show 22 this year. So for MLB 23, who will that card potentially be? Will we see another left-hander as a possibility? Before we continue though, it's actually eerily similar how close our 1995 Randy Johnson Cy Young prediction was to the Signature Series Collection Reward that was added to MLB The Show 22. As you can see here, the stamina and hits per 9 were both about 5 points off, the walks and home runs per 9 were off by a single point, and our guesses for the velocity, break, and K per 9 being maxed out were correct. Of course, this was all before we knew that Randy Johnson was actually going to be in the game, so this is all speculation, and the series doesn't necessarily guarantee that any new legends are being added to MLB The Show going forward. It's more of a series of cards that we'd like to see added to the game. So today we'll be looking at another left-handed pitcher who had a fantastic yet short career and fell off the Hall of Fame ballot after his first year of eligibility. The Venezuelan-born Johan Santana. After being selected in the Rule 5 draft by the Minnesota Twins, Johan Santana made his first MLB appearance on April 3rd, 2000. He started his career out of the bullpen for the Twins and struggled during his first few years in Major League Baseball. During his age 23 season, the Twins would send Santana down to the minors, during which he honed his now legendary changeup. That trip to the minors would help transition Santana from a long reliever into a starting role position. Redefined by his new changeup, Santana would finish the 2002 season with an 8-6 record and an ERA of 2.99 in 108 1/3 innings. The next season, he would place 7th in AL Cy Young voting after finishing 12-3 with a 3.07 ERA. Then in 2004, Santana went off. He'd lead AL starters in ERA+, FIP, WHIP, hits per 9, strikeouts per 9, pitching WAR, and would also set his career high in strikeouts with 265. Santana would unanimously win the Cy Young Award, and his 13 straight wins after the All-Star break in 2004 led the Twins to the AL Central title. That year, the Twins would fall to the Yankees in the ALDS before the Red Sox would reverse sweep the Yankees in the ALCS and win their first World Series in 86 years. Santana helped the Twins to a 2-0 victory in Game 1 of their series versus the Yankees, which to this day, that win in the ALDS is the Twins' last franchise playoff victory. Looking at Santana's Cy Young card from 2004, his attributes would excel in high strikeout totals and low hits against. His pitch mix would rely heavily on his fastball, sinker, and changeup mix, which in past MLB The Show games, Santana did have a circle change as well. But he did also utilize some heavy breaking pitches with a slider and on occasion a curveball. I could definitely see this card be some sort of AL collection reward, whether it's for the entire league or the AL Central, or perhaps a early to mid-season boss for the featured program. Santana's stuff would be great early on, but he wouldn't be a power pitcher like some other late game starters that you might expect at the end of the game cycle. Santana was never really a high velocity fastball pitcher, topping out at about 96 miles an hour at this time. Later on in his career, Santana would throw more in the low 90s. There could also be a case for Santana having a Cy Young card in 2006, or you could have a Retro Finest card from 2004, but even though Santana won the pitching Triple Crown in 2006, his 2004 stats were slightly better. Santana would be traded from the Twins to the New York Mets in February of 2008, and put up some good numbers in his first few years with the Mets, finishing 3rd in NL Cy Young voting in 2008, followed by an All-Star appearance in 2009. However, at the end of the 2010 season, Santana underwent some surgery on his shoulder, which forced him to miss the entire 2011 season. Coming back in 2012, the Mets would name him their opening day starter, and he'd go 2-2 in his first 10 starts of the year, with a 2.75 ERA and averaging about a strikeout per inning. Then came a June 1st matchup with the defending champion St. Louis Cardinals.
He struck him out! It has happened! In their 51st season,
Johan Santana would throw a career-high 134 pitches that day, striking out 8 and walking 5. To this day, it's the only no-hitter thrown by a singular pitcher in Mets history. I'd probably rate Santana's no-hitter card on a similar level to his Cy Young card, but it might be less dominant. Whereas the Cy Young card would carve up some batters in the earlier mid-game cycle, I think his no-hitter card would be more of a mid to late game event reward, similar to some of the no-hitter cards that we saw added late game in MLB 22. The ratings that you see on the screen are taken at face value of the no-hitter, but it could be very well spiked in certain attributes. The main negative to the card would be that Santana's pitch speeds would be much slower than its Cy Young counterpart. Sadly for Santana, his effectiveness would never quite be the same after his no-hitter. After putting a strain on his arm that evening with the high pitch count, his numbers would spike to end 2012, and his shoulder would tear again early in 2013, effectively ending his career. Santana would finish his career with a record of 139-78, an ERA of 3.20, over 2,000 innings pitched, and 1,988 strikeouts, which currently places him at 89th all-time in strikeouts. Had his career gone a few more years or his shoulder held on a bit longer, I think he'd have a strong case to be a Hall of Famer. Undoubtedly though, Santana is one of the best Rule 5 draft picks ever. His changeup is also one of the most legendary pitches in MLB history, and if translated into the game effectively, could be one of the nastiest breaking pitches in Diamond Dynasty. So that'll do it of this episode of In the Zone. Is Johan Santana a card that you'd love to see in MLB The Show? Let us know in the comment section. Or if there's other cards that you'd love to see added to the game, be sure to let us know about those too. Again, special shout out to Ainge Nation and MLB The Show Card Art for their contributions to this video. Both of their social media links are in the description of this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content from Showzone. Signing off for now, this is Kasabi. We'll see you next time.